Now, the fourth edition of the Brazil-Nigeria Trade Forum commenced yesterday in Abuja with focus on agriculture, banking and creative industry, leveraging on one of the agendas of Tinubu-led administration and with a view to tackle poverty, unemployment, low income and to diversify the economy. Brazil commits to export equipment and services to achieve food security in Nigeria. Kaftan correspondent Mavis Ako tells us more.
Food security is set to be achieved when all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food, which meets dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. Recall that President Tinubu, upon assumption in office, declared a state of emergency on food security in Nigeria. Hence the focus of this year's fourth edition of the Brazil-Nigeria Trade Forum, which was flagged off on Wednesday at the Brazilian Embassy in Abuja.
This time we decided to focus on agriculture, food security, very important, self-sufficient, food self-sufficiency, a crucial topic in any country and especially in Nigeria with 200 million people. Cannot forget that food security is still one of the main topics of any administration that takes office in this country, and we will go on like this, okay? And banking system, banking sector. Why banking sector? Because we need the financial support in order to help small farms, smallholders, and farming in general to improve their way of producing food and to feed this huge Nigerian population, as you know.
The ambassador of Brazil, Ricardo, also reiterated Brazil's commitment to assist Nigeria in modernizing the agricultural sector.
Brazil is ready to export equipment, is ready to export tractors and services in order to help Nigeria, as I said before, to modernize and to modernize and to equip its agricultural sector. Okay, and by doing this, we are also ready to provide some funding from Brazilian private banks and Brazilian federal banks or state-owned banks, okay, in order to help Nigeria to buy this equipment, to modernize and mechanize its agriculture.
Furthermore, stakeholders enjoined all Nigerians to be fully involved in addressing food security.
They want to build relations or improve relations with Nigeria, and one of the things they have said to us, and I believe they've said this in the past, is sharing technologies. So part of this bilateral relationship that we need to ensure remains and is nurtured is so that we can learn from them. Cassava, you heard this morning, is one of their big crops. It's their food security crop. We know how significant that is for us here in Nigeria. So what can we learn from them? What technologies can we take from them, adapt to this context, and take cassava industry to the next level? They talked about how value addition, especially around starch and the importance of starch, not just the benefit from Nigeria, but they're saying we can even buy back the starch as Brazil. So I think this is the beginning of a very interesting conversation and collaboration with Brazil. Food security is not a matter of the government and the people waiting for the government to sort out food security. It's a collective effort, right? So everybody has to be cognizant that we are in a state of emergency. So it cannot be business as usual. The government has its part, but the people have their part, the private sector, the farmers, everybody has a role to play. So I think it's important that as the government has prioritized the agenda, what are we doing in the private sector? What are we doing as farmers? What are we bringing to the table so that between the government and the people, we are addressing food security?
According to reports, Nigeria ranked 107th out of 113 countries globally in the Food Security Index. Hence a consensus by stakeholders to address sustainable development, industrial revolution, unemployment, low income through the agricultural sector with this bilateral relationship. From the nation's capital, Mavis Ako, Kaftan TV News.